I'm Abigail Lista. I'm 22 years old.
I'm Gina Robinson Lista. I'm 41.
I know like it's the new thing is to like binge watch with people and like binge watch The Office, Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother. But for me and my mom, it's like we watch a show right when it starts, like the season, and then we'll like finish it like 8 years later.
We love to watch TV together. We like to go for walks together, shop, music, like go to different kind of live music.
I said we watch TV shows together,
Mhm.
and I said that we watch a series all the way to the end.
I said we like to go for walks as well and shop and do things.
Oh, that's
like
true.
that.
We walk the dogs together.
I guess, like most mothers, you just wish your child would clean up more after themselves.
Well, I think it happens like with everyone whenever she like calls you over and over, and then you finally call her back and she doesn't answer, and you're like, I just really need to talk to you. What did you say?
I guess just that wish you clean up after yourself more often.
I understand. I said sometimes whenever I call you,
Mhm.
like, and you will answer, or you'll call me,
Mhm.
and then I call you and you don't answer, and I'm like, oh.
I can only think of maybe something that she and her cousin have done. And one time, her cousin's very, very afraid of the dark, and she went in, and her cousin was taking a shower, and she turned the lights off. And Caitlin was not too happy about it.
She'll like talk to a complete stranger, and it'll be like the cashier, and she'll like, or it would be like someone holding a baby or something, and then she'll be like, oh well, she was like horrible whenever she was 2, like she was terrible, she was like all over the place, she was a bad kid, but look at her now, she's like all grown up and she's great. I said it's not really like embarrassing, but it's just like sometimes whenever you're like talking to like a cashier or talking to like someone that's holding a kid that's like acting up, they'll be like, oh well, she was like really bad when she was a kid, like she like kept me up and all this stuff, and then you're like, but she's good now, she's fine, she's quiet, she's like great, but back then she was just everywhere.
I said that the only thing I could think of that you did was one time whenever you turned the lights off on Caitlin when she was showering. And she's deathly afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
But you also have had, back when you were aggressive, you had her on the ground in a headlock. I believe that she likes the fact that she knows that she can come to me and with anything, and I'm not going to freak out. That she has somebody that that's consistent, that I'm going to be there for no matter what.
I think she's like really proud that I'm finally like speaking up more, because I also have like a really low voice and she can never hear me, but nowadays I'm like talking to her on a level she can hear me.
I said that you love the fact that you know that you have somebody that loves you unconditionally, that you can always go to them no matter what. I'm not going to freak out.
Yeah. I said that you're proud that I like am more vocal, like I can talk more, that I'm like comfortable in front of the camera, and that I've like broken out of my shell from how I was younger, like really shy and really quiet, and now I can like talk in front of a crowd, like, and I feel more comfortable, and I think you like that now. Obviously my mom is not a minority, my dad is very much a minority, and it's kind of like I had I mean it's still like this, I have like a identity crisis. Am I too white? Am I too Asian? What's going on? I do really love that I do have 2 different cultures I can bring together, and that I do represent both sides of those cultures whenever I can.
It was actually pretty easy because I'm fairly, I guess, I come from a very progressive family that's always been accepting and just interested in other cultures and everything. So I embraced it myself and just learned as much as I could about Filipino culture and the food and music. So I always wanted her to learn, what it was like growing up in Louisiana, because it's its own unique culture in itself. But then she's also embraced her Filipino side as well. So, and it's 2 really nice cultures to be from.
So for VSA, in particular, Loyola Asian Student Organization, I finally got to like embrace more of my Filipino side, because usually I don't really get to do that because that family is like all around the world or in Mississippi, and every time I'm like out there, that's whenever I become like Filipino Abigail. But when I'm here, it's more like I'm just Abigail.
She's a little angel. I was talking about it last night with my sister. In fact, she had the most beautiful hands, and that was one of the first things that we noticed. She was very angelic, but then you also saw these beautiful hands. And she doesn't take a bad picture. She just has always been just a little sweet little angel.
I lived in Hattiesburg, and Hattiesburg is a lot colder sometimes than down here. And so like whenever the temperature would drop, so like over the winter, I would just stand outside and pretend that I was smoking because you could see my breath. And then my mom would laugh and she'd be like, yeah, you're smoking.
I wanted her to learn to be humble. She became a journalist at age 9 for Scholastic News, and she was writing and meeting presidents and doing all of these things that not other 9-year-olds were, and she wouldn't even go to school and talk about it to the other kids. So but I'm very proud of her for it, and it's the kind of thing that how many kids know at age 9 what they want to do with the rest of their life. It's taught her a lot. She can rely on herself. She knows that she has the skills and everything available, but I wanted her to learn to be humble.
She would just like let me play like by myself all the time, like outside, explore, do whatever. And that's how my upbringing was too. What she's like taught me from like that kind of upbringing is to learn what you love to do, find like what you want to do, find what works for you. And if I ever do have like an issue, like I said, we are pretty open. We do talk to each other a lot. She'll, I don't want to cry. But yeah, she'll to this day just like hold me and tell me like she loves me, and no matter what I do. Well, I said the way that you brought me up was more to rely on myself. I mean, I can come to you for anything, but also like you were like constantly trying to make sure I was on top of my work. Mm-hmm. And that made me like learn myself, like I need to be on top of what I need to do. And I was glad that was the way I was brought up, because now I know like what I'm passionate about, what I love doing, what works for me, what doesn't work, and you've always just been supportive, and I really appreciate that.
Aww, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, I said that I wanted you to be humble, mm-hmm. And you are. That's what I told him, even when you were age 9 and interviewing presidents and all of this stuff, that you always remain humble. You didn't go to school bragging about it, that you just went to school.
Yeah.
But, you know as quickly as it was given to you that it could be taken away.
That's true. That's a good lesson too.
You learn how to rely on yourself.
I guess like same lessons that she teaches me, like trust in yourself, know yourself above what anyone else would want to like try to say about you, or how they want to try to influence you. I feel like I want to raise my children similar to how she does it, or did it with me, because I think that is what made us so open to each other. Like I want my kids to like be able to talk to me and come to me and feel like I'm more than just their mom,
I guess it's on the same token that we were just talking about, self-reliance, but at the same time you also need to know that sometimes you need to ask for help. And it's okay to ask for help, because we can't do everything in life on our own. It doesn't matter how good you are or whatever, you will end up driving yourself crazy in the long run. So, and we make mistakes, and that's a part of life. You learn from your mistakes and you keep moving forward. And I said, to be self-reliant, but also understand when you need help. It's okay to ask for help.
I was similar to that. I was like, I have the same kind of relationship that we have, to where, they don't have to hide anything. They don't have to feel like they have to hide things. And that we can connect and just be open and talk. And they just don't think of me as their mom that has to like show them the way all the time. She was just trying to get her career together and like trying to build up her life as like a young woman. And then she had me, and I would like admire that. I'm trying not to cry. I admire that she was able to do that. That she was able to sacrifice that kind of life that we live. You know, we freely hang out with our friends. We freely just study whenever we can, and then we just go home and sleep. And then we could call our parents if we need help. It wasn't always like that with her. And I understand that she and my dad, like, whenever they were working or taking classes, you know, I didn't see them a lot. And I know they were doing it for me. They were doing it so they could build up their own life and establish, you know, their funds that they need to be more independent. And that's really, really hard, like, whenever you have a kid. We didn't have that much, like, time together, but now as, like, adults, now we can, like, talk to each other, just hang out, and then I'm proud of her that she made it through, and that she's been through some jobs, and, you know, she's, like, always persevered, you know, and stayed strong, and never left, once showed a sign that she was going to leave.
I think she's an outstanding person, just all around. She's an old soul. She's a very kind person. She's just thoughtful. She's beautiful on the outside, but she's very beautiful on the inside. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I can't even point back to when she was taking dance when she was a little girl. There was a little girl that had a handicap, and she couldn't use her arm. And Abby was probably 4 years old. She would go in there every week and put the girl's shoes on for her. No one ever asked her to do it. And her teacher told me that. She said, I've never once asked her to do that. She does it every week. That's just how she is. Well, I'm proud of so many things, but you're a very old soul, very kind person, beautiful inside and out. And I shared the story about how you used to help the little girl put her shoes on at dance class every week. You just did it. That's just who you are. Nobody has to tell you to do something like that. You're just going to do it because of the kindness of your own heart. And then you don't want to be anybody to recognize that you're doing it. But that's who you are. I'm proud of you for it.
Okay. I said that I was proud that you were able to raise me at the age that you did, at the time that you did, and that you were that you did sacrifice a lot of your fun, a lot of your free time, a lot of that independence that you built up whenever you are that age, both you and Dad. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud that you stuck around and that you didn't show any signs that you couldn't handle it, you know? And I'm sure there were times that you felt like you couldn't. And I never resented you for, like, you know, going off and working, and I not really see you, like, as a kid sometimes. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I realize that, and I'm proud that you're able to do that now. And I said it's kind of like a big cycle. Like, now I'm like you at that time, and, like, I don't really see you, but you know that I'm doing it to build myself up.
Right. And could you imagine having a child?
No, that's what I said. I was like, it's so hard.
Because I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I was like, it's hard enough just doing what we have to do, and then now putting a kid on top of that is a lot.
And you weren't that well either. I had to, yeah. But
it's pretty sick.
Yeah. It was difficult, but it was worth it. Being a mother is the hardest job you'll ever love. And, you know, you have a wonderful father as well. So, you know, we were lucky that we were able to pull it off like we did. But, yeah, we both were in college and working. But I think it taught you a lot at a young age. It taught you how, because remember how you used to bring all your books together, and I would study, and you'd study next to me, and you'd have all your books.
Yeah.
I think it taught you at a young age that was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
your strong suit.
And he taught me that I wanted to go to college, too.
Mm-hmm. That's why you were gifted at age kindergarten. I love you because you are you. And I think you're an outstanding person. And I'm very honored to be your mother.
Yeah, as just gonna say I love you for who you are, and that you never try to like change yourself, and you are the backbone of the family.
That's
Our
weird.
immediate family, and then also, you know, with grandma and everyone else. I mean, you're the one that pieces us all together.
It's
And I
hard,
love
but
you
I
for
try.
it.
I love you for it too.
Mhm.